nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeats. Riding down the trail under a big blue sky and pine trees. Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeats.
With us now is Rory Meacham, and Rory is the president of the North Carolina Arabian Horse Association. Glad to have you on our show. Tell us a little bit about the show this weekend.
The show this weekend at the Hunt Horse Complex, we have approximately 190 horses. Here we're doing performance, sport horse, dressage, hunter jumper, trail, and reining horses.
And this is a regional show?
It's a regional qualifying show,
Okay.
which the local clubs have a regional qualifying show to qualify to go to regionals.
Okay. All right, and is North Carolina, is that a whole region by itself, or is it made up of other states?
North Carolina is in Region 12, which is basically North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida.
Okay. And the show goes, what, Thursday through Sunday?
We start on Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
We have people that start moving in on Wednesday and have people showing Friday through Sunday.
And what do you think is probably the most popular classes that are at the event this weekend?
As far as spectator or exhibitor?
Exhibitor.
Exhibitor, it appears to be sport horse.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful, elegant class to watch,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Yes.
So tonight you guys will have the championship stuff?
The championship for the performance classes will be tonight.
Okay. And how many people do you think will be in those classes?
I would say all together maybe 60 or 70.
That's a pretty big size.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, it is.
All right. We'll look for seeing her later tonight. And thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
With me now is Dr. Jim Blevins, and Jim is the president of the Old Dominion Arabian Horse Association.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're co-sponsoring the show this weekend?
Yes, ma'am. It's between with us and the North Carolina show,
Okay.
and this is a qualifier. It's a dual qualifier for Region 12 and Region 15.
Mm-hmm.
The North Carolina being that they're in Region 12 and the Old Dominion being in Region 15. So when somebody brings their horses here, they can get qualified for both regions.
Okay. And how many people do you think are at the event this weekend?
We have roughly right now about 200 horses.
Mm-hmm.
And we're estimating that closely we have about 400 to 500 people on site right now. And so we feel like we've had a very good turnout.
It's a beautiful weekend for the show, thank goodness.
It's a wonderful weekend. After all this cold winter, it's perfect.
Definitely. Is there anything that you want to highlight about the show this weekend?
Well, I think the show, if people come to the show, one, it would be free.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great family entertainment to bring your friends and family to come to the shows. They're free. And they can see a variety of horses, of what the horses do. Mm-hmm. The Arabian horse is a very universal breed. It's a very flexible breed. It does reining, does western pleasure, saddle seat,
mm-hmm.
jumping. We have a sport horse, and so it's just a wonderful thing to be able to bring your family, because the people that own an Arabian, if they would like a western horse and it doesn't turn out to be that, it can be a hunter horse usually,
right.
Or we have our gaited horse, and so it's just it's a wonderful breed.
All right. Well, that sounds really good. And how can people get involved with the Old Dominion Association?
They can go on our website and they
Okay.
can join, those people in Virginia. And the same thing with the North Carolina site.
Mm-hmm.
They can join by becoming a member. They don't necessarily have to have a horse to join, but they are activities. They get informed of the horses and what's going on. But it's a great, I think nowadays for families
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to have a nice family activity, this is a great activity for them.
All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
With us now is Sherry Hinkle. These gorgeous costumes behind us are used in the Arabian costume class. Sherry actually makes these costumes. Sherry, this one really caught my eye. Can you tell us about it?
This is black and turquoise, named Midnight Turquoise, and it would go wonderful on a white or gray Arabian. That's basically what it should be on. And these are very unique items, one of a kind, never repeated. So.
And tell me how, this is like the blanket and obviously the breast collar?
This goes around the horse's chest. This lays over the horse's back. The rider has a costume, cloak and hat.
And then this Desert Sunset is striking too. What color horse would you recommend for that?
Palomino or chestnut.
Okay.
Somebody's looking at it for a Palomino, which it would be really striking.
It is beautiful. Now, how long does something like this take to make?
About 2 weeks.
And these range in price?
Anywhere from about brand new $1,900 to $2,500.
Okay, well that's pretty reasonable for all the work that must go into these.
You never can get all of your money's worth, you know, for your time. Yeah.
Sure, it's definitely a labor of love.
That's right.
And this is really beautiful too. Now, do they have historical
significant
presence?
Not really. These are some are traditional and some are more Hollywood glamour look.
Right.
It just depends on what you like.
Right.
They'll equally, judge well. So.
Right. Okay. And are the costumes all basically a 3-part set, or are there other pieces and parts?
The costumes prices come complete with the 3-part horse set, bridle, chest, and blanket, and then the rider has a cloak, pants, shirt, and scarf.
Okay.
And that's all complete.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned. We'll get a little bit of that costume class when it comes on later tonight.
People from around the Triangle come to Carolina Barbecue of Garner off Highway 70 because they know what they'll get. Authentic Eastern North Carolina chopped barbecue, Southern fried chicken, hush puppies, Brunswick stew, and more. But did you know that they'll come to you? For your next backyard party, company event, graduation party, weddings, rehearsals, or any other occasion, you bring the people, and Carolina Barbecue of Garner will bring the pig. Call 773-0222.
Follow me to Carolina Barbecue.
You know, you don't need a PhD in tractorology to understand that more power is a good thing. Mahindra tractors are engineered for maximum power and backed by a 5-year powertrain warranty. Yes, sir, Mahindra tractors even have enough power to give the competition a lift. Take a good look at the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
With me now is Virginia Godwin, and Virginia, as you know, is a writer for Southeast Equine Magazine and covers a lot of great subjects for us. She's also a trainer of national statute, very accomplished horsewoman, and she's brought her students to the show this weekend as well as herself doing some showing. Right. So tell me a little bit about how that works. Say that if I wanted to start riding Arabians and learn how to show, how would I go about that?
Well, it's like any learning experience, just like going to high school or going to college. You go to someone to teach you how to drive a car or how to play baseball, and so you're going to come to me and I would like to learn how to ride a horse. Well, that's not the easiest thing in the world, but once you have accomplished that, it's wonderfully empowering. And I think that when you learn how to ride horses to the level when you can exhibit them, like here at the show, the confidence level that you have is kind of off the charts. Right. You would come and take some lessons, get a lot of experience, get so familiar with the animal that it doesn't intimidate you, because the animal itself can intimidate you.
Sure.
Just all by itself. And so as soon as you get comfortable with just learning how to ride and learning how to attain balance to ride, then you can step it up a notch.
Right.
And so now you're like Little League, learning how to ride, and now you get into the Major League, and now you're going to go show. And it's all about trying to get the horse to still focus on you in a different environment. And that's very challenging.
Right,
It's
sure.
scary for a horse to come here and not be at home and be with other horses, that it doesn't particularly know, and just different atmospheres. You've got trucks going by, you've got water trucks, you've got photographers, flash bulbs. You've got everything on the planet that you're sitting on a horse that naturally is, a flight animal. Right. And now you need to learn how to control it and give it some sort of confidence that it's okay where you are. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to direct you and protect you. Right. And that takes a long time. Learning how to show horses is a lifetime commitment.
Sure. Well, I'm sure it takes a long time to get your confidence up so that you can make him believe that you're in charge and you got this.
Because you're going to go through the gate and you're going to be really, really nervous. And so what we try to do is put new riders on horses that we would call old campaigners that will more or less take care of them. They still have to ride them. It's not like you're on a robot.
Right.
But they won't be, quite as fancy or challenging to a new rider's balance.
Right.
And so they can go in, have a sense of accomplishment, come out, feel accomplished, that all these lessons have paid off, just as far as just a confidence level. We're not here to collect ribbons.
Right.
We're basically here to create really good horsemen and be ambassadors for the horse.
Right.
So a lot of people will come to competitions and they'll put, a little too much intensity on it. It should be fun. It's a learning experience for the riders. It's a learning experience for the trainers. It's a wonderful social event. All surrounded by this incredible animal that has brought us here.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, that's really awesome. I know you work with a lot of different age ranges of people too. So, how have your students done pretty well this week?
Yeah, my students have done great. I've got some people that are fairly experienced. That. I can fairly, I feel pretty confident when they go in the ring that they're going to come out and do well. Then I've got some other riders that this is maybe their first show with me.
Right.
And even though they've been with other trainers, they have to develop a whole, new program. They have to get used to a whole new program with a new trainer. And I have to say most of those riders adapted very well. So it's been a great show for us.
That's wonderful.
So.
Okay, well, thank you for spending a little time with us.
You're very welcome.
My name is Scott Brookins, and I am the owner of Brookins Construction and MD Barnmaster of the Carolinas. At MD Barnmaster, we have the best warranty in the business. We have a variety of designs to choose from. Our barns are easily customizable to meet your needs. We have financing available to those who qualify. Our barns are fire resistant and they hold their value with little maintenance. Let us build your dream barn for you today.
This is Paul Dunn from Mule City Feeds. We've been delivering horse feed to Eastern North Carolina since 1981. And not only have we been delivering it, we've been leading the industry so far as compliance with state North Carolina and giving the best quality product possible. We test everything that comes in from the local farmers. We do quality assurance and we deliver the product. Give us a chance. Your neighbors giving us a chance. We'd like to have your business here at Mule City Feeds. Also, when you deal with the big feed companies, you might have to wait 4 or 5 days just to get the feed. Give us a call and you'll be shocked we'll deliver in an hour.
With me now is the Dalton family. This is Jackie, Rebecca, and Meg, and they all show. It's kind of a family event. Jackie, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have had Arabian horses since 1967, and my poor husband married me and a half Arab mare, and he also enjoys riding. We're trail riding, so he's been very supportive. And all my children have ridden. These are my 2 youngest daughters, and they're addicts like I am.
Right.
And so we all love it. We love to ride. We love the horses, and a lot of our family life revolves around the horses.
Okay.
My husband does the shoeing, and he likes trail riding, and he helps take care of the horses, and he helps us at shows when he can too. So
all right. Very good. Now, everybody gets to see the glitz and glamour in the show ring. So tell me what's like when you're done showing for the day. What do? You just throw them in the stall, or how do you handle all the things that they have to have done?
Okay, well, first you unbraid them, then you might have to bathe them, then you have to feed them, and then sometimes if they're not their best, you have to go out and lunch them.
Okay. All right. And is there any other special preparation that you'll do tonight for showing tomorrow? Or do you do all that in the morning early when you get up before you go in the ring?
Well, like especially with this colder weather, we'll put slinkies and sheets and blankets on them to keep them nice and clean and slick and make sure their hair doesn't get all puffy.
Right.
Kind of like a beauty pageant, making sure they're ready to go for the morning, and then do your usual routine to warm them up and get them ready so that you have the best class you can have.
Okay. And what kind of classes do you guys show in?
We've been showing hunter and sport horse at this show.
And how has the day been for you?
It's had its ups and downs, but
yeah,
we've learned a lot from it.
Yes.
Right.
We've learned a lot from it.
Well, I was thinking last night we did a show on high school rodeo, and I was thinking, well, you know, when you miss the cow, you learn a lot more than you do every time you get him. So I'm sure it's the same way with this.
Exactly. We've had some very good classes and some that were like, oh, we need to work on that, you know, that type of thing. So to give us a good starting point for the next few weeks before Region 12. So.
And what do you like best about the Arabian breed? Why did you choose them? Because you've obviously, for a long time, been an Arabian lover.
They had such natural beauty. I've had other breeds of horses. My family had Tennessee walking horses and just grade riding horses. And also I had a saddlebred, but I just thought the Arabians were so pretty and naturally graceful.
They are
I've always
fabulous.
loved them.
What about you guys? What draws you to them?
Their intelligence.
Yes.
They're smarter than the other breeds, no offense, but
sure.
You know, it takes a certain skill to ride them, and you know, not every horse is the same, and so you know, you learn something different from every horse that you get on. So it keeps it interesting.
All right. Thank you for spending some time with me.
Thank you.
With us now is Dr. Jim Meyer and Ninja. And Dr. Meyer is a veterinarian out of Wendell, North Carolina, who also shows Arabians and raises them. So you're here this weekend for the show. How's Ninja doing, and what classes have you been in?
Ninja did very well for me today. We hadn't shown since last July, and with the bad weather we've had this year, this winter, we haven't been able to ride very much. But he did well today. We marked a 70 and a 68, and we qualified for both Region 12 and Region 15 for the regionals this morning. Ninja was actually bred to be a racehorse, but he just didn't get very tall. And we happened to be down checking our racehorses in Florida, and we saw him. He had just gelded him and said he's not going to be a racehorse, but we really liked him, so we got him. And when he was a 5-year-old, he was reserve champion in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Arabian Reining Horse Association Futurity, and that was a lot of fun.
I imagine so.
He did very, very well.
Well, you really are a beautiful horse.
Yep.
So you have racing horses?
Yep. We started racing about 10 years ago, and when we started in a partnership with 4 people, and we had 4 horses. Our good friend Lauren Nichols in Williston, Florida, got us started, and this year.
Now, I wasn't aware that Arabian horses were race horses, so can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in that industry?
Well,
That's
of course,
really
they were the original racehorse.
Right.
You know, thoroughbreds actually come from the 3 foundation Arabian sires back in England in the 1800s, and so they've always raced. In the United States, we mostly race in 4 states: Delaware Park, California, Texas, and Colorado.
Right.
And there is some racing in Michigan, not too much, but there's some racing in Michigan. So there's not a lot of Arabian racehorses, but there's like around $5 million of available prize money for Arabian racing.
Wow.
And we have some very nice big stakes races. They race the same distances and use the same jockeys as the thoroughbreds. All the tracks that we run at are thoroughbred racetracks.
Thank you for telling us all about that. We'll have to stay in tune and see how your horses do in the race in the Breeders' Cup.
That'll be fun, yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
With us now is Jessie Chase, and Jessie's a reining trainer out of Wendell, North Carolina, and I'm Beautiful Too.
That's right. I'm Beautiful Too by Buku Daddy.
All right, and she's a half Arabian, half quarter horse?
That's correct. Her daddy was an Arabian, and her mom was a quarter horse, and it really shows she has that big, stocky quarter horse build, and got that real pretty Arabian dish face. Got the best of both worlds with her.
She is beautiful, no doubt. She was aptly named. So how is she doing this weekend at the show?
She's done very, very well. I didn't get to show her, even though I wanted to. That her amateur owner really needed to get a couple points.
Right.
And she showed her in 2 different classes, so she's worked hard this morning and did very, very well. She's only just had just over a year of training. Typically with the reiners, it takes a good full 2 years to get them good and solid, and she showed really, really quiet, really solid, and this is definitely the right job for her.
That's really awesome. Now, how do Arabians generally do in the reining classes? I haven't seen a lot of them show in the reining shows.
It's gotten a lot stronger. Years ago, when it first started with quarter horses and the NRHA and stuff, what they did was they made reiners out of what we always joke, the horses that were too ugly to do anything else. And then over time, through selective breeding and stuff, they have some phenomenal athletes in the NRHA. So they're definitely physically way more capable than what the Arabians are at this point. But with a lot of the added money and the Arabian futurities and stuff, people are starting to selectively breed a lot better for better Arabian horses for reiners.
So it makes good sense to take the best of the Arabian breed and then mix them with the athleticism in the quarter horse breed and the slowing them down a little bit, I would think.
Yeah, and that gives a lot of legitimacy to it too. When you have the half Arabians out there marking scores, getting what the quarter horse can do, that adds a lot of legitimacy to it. The purebreds don't quite get as high a score or tend not to, but they still are progressively getting way better than what they used to.
Right. So Jessie, if I wanted to learn how to do reining, for example, regardless of what kind of horse I was going to ride, how would I go about getting into that field?
Probably one of the best ways would be to go to the NRHA website, and there's a Find a Trainer directory listings.
Right.
And most of the trainers will be on there. You can also look for a local affiliate. In this area, it's the Southeastern Reining Horse Association. We have the Virginia Reining Horse Association close by as well. And a lot of times they'll have a trainer directory listed with them with contact information.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing her with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're your neighborhood source for everything you need from your farm to your home.
At Harper Sales and Service, a division of Harper Landscaping, we can cater to all your mowing needs. Whether you need to start out with a beginner series for those smaller lawns, you can work your way all the way up to a 0 turn and even get into those bigger areas where you might have an acre or 2 or more.
My animals depend on me, and I depend on Harper Equipment Sales and Services to keep me running. From my weed eater to my tractor, they can fix it all.
When you look for Harper Landscaping, it's no sweat.
With us now are John and Christine Ryan from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And John is a legend in the Arabian horse training world, and he's here to share some of the secrets of what makes a great show horse with us today.
Well, I think one of the things we pride ourselves on is the care of our horses, their health and their well-being, and our horses are, we believe, successful because they're happy with their jobs, well prepared for their job, and willingly doing what we're asking them to do.
All right, very good. And what kind of classes do you primarily show in? Everything, or?
We primarily show in the main ring classes, most of the saddle seat classes, country pleasure, English pleasure. We also show Western horses, and we have some amateurs that show hunter pleasure as well as our other trainer who shows hunter pleasure.
Okay. And do you train for people and breed, or just to train, or how is your business structured?
We're mostly a training facility.
Okay.
We do stand 3 stallions, and we do ship semen, but we don't maintain brood mares or do any foaling. So all we will do is stand the stallions and ship semen.
All right. Of all the events that you show in, what's your most favorite?
Oh, probably the English pleasure would be both of our most favorites.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about what an English pleasure class consists of? And I'm not familiar with that exactly.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that we both like to train any division equally, but as far as showing goes, I find the saddle seat classes to be the most exciting. If you've ever pulled a wheelie on a motorcycle or a bicycle, it's a bit like pulling a wheelie. There's a lot of power, and it's a very high intensity, high energy class, so it's very appealing. And I think a lot of women like that too, where we don't get into the motorcycles or the race cars. Riding a very powerful horse is a thrill for us.
It is kind of the same feeling to feel that, you know, when you're on it.
It's very cool, and it's really different from, like, a motorcycle doesn't have a mind of its own or a heart, where a horse does, and when you connect with that and share the energy, it's a special feeling.
Absolutely, without a doubt. So I understand that your focus is primarily on amateur riders and bringing new people into this industry, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's kind of neat that I always tell people that my job is to make people's dreams come true. And you have people that their dream is it could be to come to this show and win a prize, or to come to this show and be successful with their horse. Their dream could be to go to nationals and win a national prize. And that's what we get to do, is work with these beautiful horses and make people's dreams come true. So that's, you know, doesn't get any better than that.
For certain. So how can people get in touch with you? You have a website, or?
We do.
Okay.
BrianShowHorses.com.
All right.
And
good.
we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
Although I don't know how to get on it or use it. My wife knows how to do that.
Well, you're probably better off.
I am. I hear some crazy things on Facebook.
There is definitely. But it's a good way for people to keep in touch and share things too.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. With me now is Carol Dubose and Elizabeth OBrien, and they have both been in the Arabian industry for a long time. Carol, looks like you're dressed and ready for your next class. Can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing?
I'm going to be riding in a purebred country English pleasure class with a horse I've had for a while that is in training with Johnny and Christine Ryan.
All right. Elizabeth, you weren't showing this weekend, but you have a horse in the show?
Yes, I have a young horse that is its first horse show, so Johnny decided to bring it to the show and let's give it a little test run, and he showed the horse and he did very well for me. So hopefully the next show I'll be showing him.
All right, that sounds great. So if you were going to give some people advice about how to excel in this sport of the Arabian horse world, what would you tell them?
I would say come to a show and observe, walk around, talk to the different trainers, talk to exhibitors. I think you'll find that we really are a friendly group of people. And see what you like. Look at all the different disciplines, because the Arabian is so versatile. They have the English, Western, cutting, driving, hunter, sport horse division. There's something for everybody. So I think if you just come out, bring the family out. The Arabians are really a family-oriented breed of horse, very intelligent and of course beautiful. Come out and observe and just talk with people.
That sounds like some good advice. They never cease to amaze me how versatile they are. All right, well, thank you ladies for your time. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Carolina Hoofbeats is brought to you in part by Newcomb Quarter Horses. Newcomb Quarter Horses with over 40 years experience. Find out how we can help you today. NewcombQuarterHorses.net. And also by Carolina Hoofbeats Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in North Carolina. Catch up on the latest issue at CarolinaHoofbeats.com. And also by Southeast Equine Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in the southern United States.
Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing